set up. So I'm actually going to have Good morning, friend family. Thank you so much for watching and tuning into this video. So today I'm just pulled up to our local post office because I got a call about 30 minutes ago that we had baby chicks in one day early. We weren't expecting them till tomorrow, so I had to pivot and try to get here really quickly because they've had such a long journey, and we want to make sure that we do everything we can to make sure that they have a successful life, right? So in this series, we're going to show you chicks from day one. We're going to come back week 1, week 2, week 3, so on and so forth, and just show you how we do our chickens, our meat birds. So thank you so much for being here, and please continue to follow along. All right, you guys, I got the chicks. Sounds like they're alive and peep, and they packaged them in this huge box, which I can't show you because it's got my address information all over it, but I picked them up. Let's go. Okay, so I had it on my to-do list today to go around and pick up some supplies that we need to start off some new baby chicks, because when we went through our inventory a couple of weeks ago, we noticed that we were short on some things. But again, the chicks arrived a day early, and so I thought I was going to have more time to get everything set up. So I'm actually going to have to drive around with them a little bit while I pick up a couple of things, which is fine because I have to make sure that we have what we need to get them set up and get them home. Oh my goodness, I started monsooning. I'm soaking wet. This is the life of a farmer, but I'm not in my usual car. I'm in Joshua's truck. Joshua's our son. This was my truck. I used to drive my girl truck. I used to drive this Tacoma for 6 years, but then I wanted to change it out and get a little baby. I wanted to change it out and get a little baby car, so that's what I did. But yeah, all of my supplies that I usually keep in my own vehicle are not in this one because Joshua's 19 and he doesn't care. So there's no umbrella in here. There's no rain jacket. There's not a poncho. There's literally nothing. So I just had to run out of tractor supply soaked. But I've got everything that I needed. I needed to pick up a couple of totes because we are going to start the biddies off in totes. If you watched the last video, you saw that Brandon had set them up just all over the brooder. He made cool spaces and hot spaces. And that's fine, but I feel like they do so much better when we start them off in totes. And so we'll split them up, and we didn't have enough bigger totes to use. And so I had to go buy a couple of totes, and I got those at Sam's Club. And then I needed to come over to Tractor Supply because when we were going through our feeders and waterers, we had a bunch of them, but they had been left outside and the plastic was brittle and all of the things, so it was just better to just buy a couple of new ones. But we had feeders, just some waterers we had to purchase. Now once they get out of the brooder, which we keep them there and there between 2 and 3 weeks, we will set them up on the big 12-gallon waterers that you guys have seen our regular birds be on. So that's something that we'll make sure that we'll keep them on from there. We'll teach them how to use the nipples and drink out of there. But for now, they've got the regular 5-quart waterers. So thankfully, I got everything I need. But the bad part about it is it's crazy raining outside. So I still have to set these chickens up. Good thing their brooder is pretty big and we just cleaned it out, so we can get in there and set them up. But it's so much easier when, there's not a monsoon happening. So stay tuned. All right, guys, it's a little bit later in the day because Today has been monsooning like all day today. We finally got a break in the weather, and I've been keeping the biddies safe in the laundry room where it's warm. We had to do some laundry today, so nice and warm in there with the dryer going and everything. And so now that it's finally broke with the weather, we've had tornado watches and all of the things happening today. I finally can set them up. So what a day. If they would have just came tomorrow like they were supposed to, it wouldn't have been this bad, but sometimes that happens. So let's go ahead and get these biddies set up. Alrighty, so here is our brooder coop all the way cleaned out. We've got 3 lights set up in the back. We're going to put the birds, the baby chicks, in 3 separate totes and make sure that they have a nice warm spot if they want to go to it, and then they make sure that they have a cool spot as well. We're going to give them water. We're going to dip their beaks in the water when they first come in, because that's what you want to do. And I always put a little bit of sugar in the water as they come in. So we're going to try to set them up the best way we can for success. Alrighty, these are what the biddies look like when they first get here. These were hatched yesterday and they arrived today. Normally, like I said, it takes 2 days for them to get here, but they got here a little bit early. Now I've only opened up one side because I needed to tear the label off because our address was on there. But that pink on their head is a spray for coccidiosis. So the way that I like to do this and the way that Brandon likes to do this is a little bit different, because I like to make sure that the birds just have water at first, because then they can get acclimated to the water. They know where the water is. But Brandon likes to put the food in there right away. So that's why you'll see this big old feeder in here, as well as the waterers. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with dipping their beaks into the water so that they can find the water each and every single time. Or you want to help me do that? When they've had a long, hard journey, they do need to have water in the beginning, because that's how they replenish themselves. And we put sugar in the water because it kind of acts as an electrolyte for them. So that brick's not working. It's a little wonky. No, you want to use a paper?
Too high. I couldn't get into it.
Is it leaking?
I don't think it is.
You can take it off of that brick if you want to. I just was trying to make sure that, you know, it wasn't filled up with pine shavings the first day. No casualties? Oh, that's good. And as you can see, they're not too much interested in the food right now. They're really just interested in the water. And what we're going to do now is go ahead and hook up the lights and then put the toe tops over the side of these so that they can have a cool spot as well as a warm spot. It looks like we got one out. Is it out?
That's out.
Okay, we got some bulbs. All right, so we'll check on them tonight, see if they're piling or if they're too hot, if they're way away from the light. We'll just try to make sure that they're extremely comfortable. So that was day one of setting up our meat birds. Picked them up from the post office this morning. Got them all set up in the brooder coop. Put the lights on them with pine shavings, water, a little bit of sugar in the water, some feed. Now what?
Let them grow.
Let them grow. All right, so we'll keep you guys posted on how they're doing. Have a good night. Thanks for watching.